Hello and welcome to the episode 10 recap of the Courtship. I hope you've recovered from last week's utter mess and chaos. I was looking forward to this week because I thought that maybe Nicole would do a little bit of reflecting and she'd come back stronger, more decisive this week, ready to kick flaky Lincoln to the curb. But alas, a lot happened this episode, so the video might be a little bit longer than usual. So today's daily tea is that there's going to be a pleasure garden on the grounds. Fire breathers, rides, fortune tellers, the lot. Nicole tells her entourage that her heart was shattered by Lincoln last week, especially because this came days after he told her that he was falling in love with her. The guys meanwhile ask Lincoln if he's feeling confident in his decision to stay and take a chance on love, I guess. And this freaking guy says that he has a week to think about things and figure out his feelings. So yeah, at this point, Nicole and his future relationship is completely in his hands. I hate that Nicole gave him that power, but I can't really be mad at Lincoln because he has been showing us that he's a flake for a while now, and he's just being who he is, and Nicole is choosing to keep him around. He wonders out loud then who might have told Nicole, and obviously all the guys are like, it wasn't me, so eventually Miles has to admit that he was the one who told Nicole, but that there was no malicious intent. Lincoln says that that's BS. There's a bro code, and he wants to know why he did it. He thinks that Miles is there to stir up trouble. Miles asks if he's in love with Nicole, and Lincoln pauses and he says he's still in the same place. Miles says that that's unfair to her and he needs to really think about what he wants. When Danny asks Lincoln which direction he's leaning in, Lincoln says it's more lust and he's trying to figure out if it can turn into love. But he thinks that Nicole is in love with him. Now, mind you, more than once this episode, he'll mention that she's in love with him and he just doesn't know. I mean, sure, that could be true, but it's kind of smug to keep saying it, and yeah, I just didn't care for it, to be honest. In the next scene, Nicole keeps digging this kind of, sorry to say, but delusional hole even deeper by saying that even though she and Lincoln had that hurdle last week, and by hurdle she means he broke up with her, and then when he decided that he wanted to be with her again, she was only too eager to say yes. So yeah, even though they had that hurdle, she feels that they needed that to bond emotionally. What? And her family just kind of sits there. I feel like the guys in general are more open in their conversations and they call each other out, which I really like. And I feel like Nicole could use a bit of that, to be honest. So Nicole's sister says that they all need to pick a person to ask them some questions and get to know them and ask them about being in a black family, having black kids, what that means, not just to them, but to their families and their communities. Nicole's mother wants to know this and how they would navigate this. Nicole wants her brother to talk to Mr. Judge, Jessie. Her mom will talk to Cones, dad to Danny, and sister with Miles. See, now I think that the family should have chosen, and one of them, either the brother or the dad, should have chosen Lincoln, because the sister's also a little bit soft, I think. But yeah, this family doesn't seem to like mess. They're all really sweet to each other, and it is lovely, but some hard truths need to be addressed. By the way, this is Dom's last episode. He's going back home because his wife is expecting a baby. Congrats, Dom. So at the carnival, Lincoln tells Nicole that her dress is way too sexy, they should go and sit down. They're all touchy already. Then Jessie, Mr. Judge, and Nicole go and sit and have their tea leaves read. The psychic says that Jessie is a good match. She has a big heart and she sees wedding bells. He's ready for marriage. I mean, he said so in like his second episode, that he just wants to be the best husband and father that he could be. Nicole says that she could see herself marrying Jessie. He's a great guy and he would make an even better husband. I don't believe you, Nicole. Sorry. And then Jessie, in response to the psychic lady, says that's spot on. And he gives Nicole the sweetest kiss on the cheek ever. Also, look at his hand. He also says that marriage is a huge step, but that he wants to take that step, in general. Nicole's parents politely say what we've all been saying about Danny, that he seems to have made more of an impression on Nicole than on them. Mr. Remy asks Danny if he could see himself marrying Nicole, and surprisingly, Danny says he could. He also asks Danny what his family would think about joining a black family or of them being together, and Danny says that his family would accept her without question. Nicole's mom asks Cones the race question, and he says that his family would accept Nicole as well. His stepmom is actually Afro-Brazilian, so it's not some crazy concept. Mrs. Remy says about Cones that Nicole would have a better chance at happiness with him than any of the other guys. And I tend to agree, kind of, just because Cones is such a down-to-earth, super funny, sensitive guy who is very low drama, and he seems to care about Nicole. But yeah, that's still mostly a friendship. It's a pity, but you know, the heart wants what it wants, I guess. Miles is getting tipsy, but he and Nicole have their tea leaves read. His cup is empty, which means apparently that he wants a relationship. Something's missing. And he says that the psychic is right. Danny has his read, and apparently he needs to be more open and tell Nicole what he's thinking. Dom then asks Jessie about possibly joining a family of color, and Jessie says that he's never really thought of race as a barrier, but he'd like to know more about expanding his world outside his little environment. I really liked this answer. He's not doing that annoying colorblind I don't see race thing. It just isn't an issue for him, but he's keen to learn. Dom likes him, and someone commented last week, by the way, that they thought that Mr. Hunter was too mature for Nicole, and I don't know, I feel like Jessie might be as well. Anyway, Miles and Nicole's sister chat, and he says that if he were to be in another relationship, he'd do everything he could to make it work with his partner's family, because he lost touch with his own family for quite a while when he was with his ex because their families didn't get along. He's been single for 4 years, by the way. He says that he's worked really hard in life and with his career, and now there's something missing. He and Nicole have a connection, and he's keen to see where it'll lead, but he's open to it all, and he's ready for his happy ending. He's obviously not the one, but good answer, I'll allow it. Then it's Nicole and Lincoln having their tea leaves read, and the psychic says that she sees half a heart. She has half the things in life that she needs. She's smart, she's attractive, but there's something missing. And oh, bless Nicole, because she says she thinks that this is beautiful, that she and Lincoln are putting their hearts together and making a full one. Are you sure, Nicole? Like, I felt really bad for her here. Like, someone needs to stop this, right? At the same time, I don't want to infantilize her. Like, she's a grown woman, but it's getting pretty hard to watch, to be honest. Lincoln says in his confessional that the thing that's missing might be that Nicole is in love with him and he's not sure if he's there yet. See what I mean about the she's into me but I don't know thing? Okay, then Mr. Cones, with his adorable energy, also drops by and he wants his tea leaves read. And I don't know if you guys noticed that Lincoln's hand is caressing Nicole's bare leg like that. Anyway, the tea leaf reader says that on paper, Cones and Nicole wouldn't be a good match, but he can make her laugh, and laughter is the key to love. And then on the dance floor later, Danny B and Nicole are dancing and having the same conversation that they always have about Nicole wanting to know how he feels. And at this point, I think Nicole just isn't quite hearing what any of these guys are really saying. So Miles wants to cut in to dance with Nicole, and Danny tells him to F off. Nicole giggles. And I mean, I know they've been drinking, so maybe she would have handled it differently if she was sober, but either way, it was gross and unsurprising behavior from Danny, and I didn't actually like that Nicole laughed at that. Don't like Danny for her, and together, I don't know, I have this feeling that they could be kind of toxic. Nicole and Lincoln ride the carousel, and she tells him how happy she is that he's there. She says that she thought, coming onto the show, that she wanted the perfect guy, the guy with a career and the house, the one who wants kids right away. But she actually wants someone who looks at her the way he does. And this makes my stomach hurt so bad right now, because this sounds less like she's decided to follow her heart and stop being superficial, and more like she's kind of dropped her standards to justify being with somebody who's going to bring what exactly to the table? Nothing. Anyway, Cone says he doesn't think that Lincoln has Nicole's best interest at heart. Lincoln says that he's terrified of regret. He says that if she can be patient with him, then he'll stick it out. He says that, and he'll figure it out. He says again in his confessional that he's not sure if this is just lust. And I don't know, he's kind of backpedaling from a week or two ago, right? Because he said that he was falling for her. We can't be surprised though, because this is his thing. Nicole says that she can be patient with him, and I was just thinking, excuse me? Nicole, you couldn't be patient with Mr. Hunter and give him some time, but Lincoln can take his time deciding if he wants to properly be with you or not. Anyway, Nicole talks about having a once-in-a-lifetime connection with somebody, and that when you find that person, how do you give up on that? So she says she sees a future with him, and he says that he wants to see if his feelings can grow. So Nicole's dad was impressed with Danny, which is bizarre to me. Nicole reiterates her feelings about Lincoln, and everyone is just kind of silent, which is frustrating and disappointing. Danny asks Lincoln if he's decided on the whole love-lust thing, and Lincoln says that he doesn't feel like he's in love with her. Well, yet, I guess. Who knows? Then Nicole says she wants to get to know Jessie more, and they go on this romantic carriage ride to the countryside for apple picking, and we get a tiny bit of information about Nicole's past dating life. So Jessie asks her if she's ever been in love, and she says once, but the guy broke her heart because he ended up moving away, and he didn't ask her to move with him or do a long distance relationship, but she knew it was love and she has no regrets. I kind of felt bad for wondering if this was a mutual love and if that relationship was exclusive, because we've seen how she romanticizes everything with Lincoln. It reminded me of this quote from the show BoJack Horseman, where Wanda says to BoJack something along the lines of, when you look at someone through rose-colored glasses, all of the red flags just look like flags. Now, obviously in this situation, it's a little less dramatic because Lincoln is just a flake of a guy. He's not dangerous and it's not that deep. But yeah, Nicole has those glasses on with him. So yeah, she just can't seem to see that he's not that into her on that deep emotional level that she wants. Anyway, Nicole says about Jessie that he's a secure bet and she doesn't know if he has enough edge to him. She says that he's a wonderful kisser though, and well, yeah, I mean, look at that apple throw move. Anyway, she's not going to choose him. He's too nice and sensible and romantic. Then she has a chat with Miles, and he's a really good talker. He's dialed down all that performativeness, like way down. It's a long conversation. It's pretty productive, but ultimately, this isn't a great match. I do think that he played an excellent game and was respectful to Nicole throughout, so I like him. He's very cute as well. By the way, he also says that he wants marriage and kids. There's no question about that. It's just a matter of timing, and I guess now isn't really the right time. So at one point, the guys talk about how they see themselves with Nicole, and this is so cute. Cohn says that he can imagine himself and Nicole toasting to their 4-year anniversary, and even Danny talks about going to a basketball game or something, and Lincoln says that the relationship would be super light and casual. He wouldn't want to live together full time. He'd visit her in Seattle and she could come with him on the van every now and then, like she can do a weekend or a week with him in the van. I feel like every time this guy opens his mouth, it gets even worse. Nicole should really be asking these questions. Anyway, Lincoln says that he can't imagine living with somebody because he wants to go days where he's not communicating. So he basically wants a hookup for when he passes through town or when he's feeling lonely on the road. I'm kind of hoping that when Nicole hears this breaks the spell for her. Anyway, then it's time for the farewell dance. Miles and Jessie are chosen and Miles ends up going home, which fair enough. He makes a very gracious exit though, of course. He has impeccable manners and that's so underrated. Anyway, cheers, Miles. Combs then says that Nicole's lust is maybe getting in the way of things for the rest of the guys who are there for more than lust. They're there to find love. Nicole then dances with Jessie and she says that he is the sure bet, but she also wants fun and flirts, and she wonders if life might be too comfortable with him, but she says ultimately that the safe bet is the good choice. So he stays. If Nicole runs into Jessie's arms when Chapman breaks up with her again, I'm going to riot. And then at the end of the episode, I'm so exhausted of being outraged at this point, but Lincoln sneaks into Nicole's room again and he says that he wants more time with her. They're making out and they go under the covers, so I assume they're going to have sex. Then, consenting adults and all that, what are you going to do? But oh man, Nicole makes horrible choices. Anyway, that's it for this episode. See you in the comments, and I guess we have to see how this works out for her next week. As always, thank you for watching.